Thank you for joining us at Youthology Live. Every week we come with a resource that is helpful for youth leaders and youth people working in youth development and NGOs, non-governmental organizations and parachurch organizations and the church. And you found us at YouTube, and maybe you're watching us there right now. Please subscribe to us. Or maybe you found us on the iTunes podcast. It's /Jeff Grinnell. You'll find that in both of those settings. Or the easiest place is youthology.com. Just go to our website, and we have the live video on there. We have the iTunes podcast that is direct there. And then also our manuscript. We do a manuscript each week for these resources. So you can download that and keep that and follow along with our blog with the topic. Okay? So, hey, thanks for joining us. What we're doing this week on this episode is a discussion about mental health. And it is Suicide Prevention Month, so it's the perfect timing for us to deal with this topic and to bring some practical help for you in the areas of suicide and depression and the capacity for emotional growth and emotional intelligence. Because sometimes we think more about our physical and our intellectual, and we forget about our emotional, right? Our emotional health. So, hey, the way we're going to do this, I'm going to give you some signs and some triggers and maybe some things that you could be looking for in people who are struggling with their mental health, okay, in all kinds of areas. So I'm going to give you those. Then I'm going to give you 4 ways to help deal with that. Maybe internally and personally with yourself. Maybe that's, you could use these 4 things to help somebody else who's struggling with this, okay? And so I put them in 4 W's. It'll be easier for you to remember. So let me give you those. It is worth, okay, words, wellness, and we. I'll get to that, our circle and our friends and our people, okay? So let me do it the first one. And it's that area of worth and value and design, okay? Design. Listen, I don't want you to listen to what other people have said about you or how culture defines you or what culture says about you. I want you to think about scriptures because hear me, whether you know this or not, you are a child of God. God created you. Okay, God created you. And this is what Paul says in Ephesians chapter 2. I just want to listen to these words. Paul says, "For we are his workmanship." Isn't that powerful? We are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus. Okay, did you hear that? You are his workmanship, created in the image of God. Isn't that a great thought? I know you don't feel that way. Listen, I know I'm being idealistic a little bit by reading that to you and hoping that would just be a breakthrough and change your design and change the way you think about. But you got to hear this. Workmanship implies that God's not done with you. Okay? Aren't you glad? Right? God's not finished with you. So don't look at everything that's going on and all of the pressure and think that this is it. Man, we all change so much. And we all have these hard edges and things that we don't like about ourselves. You know. I know sometimes maybe you think you're the only one. Maybe you think you're the only one that is dealing with this. But I want you to know that's not true. All of us have something that we would like to hide. Do you know that? All of us have. Maybe we think we're too short. Maybe we think we're too tall. Maybe we have curly hair, but we want straight hair, or vice versa, right? Maybe we don't sit at the right table in the cafeteria. Maybe I don't have the right language, sociability or likability or whatever. But I want you to know everybody has an issue. Everyone wishes they could go back and change something in their life. You're not the only one. And listen, your worth doesn't come from comparing yourself to everybody else. Your worth comes from what we just talked about there in Ephesians chapter 2 and how Paul said, we are his workmanship. And he's still under construction. Isn't that great? Okay, let me get to the second one, and that's words. Our words are so important. Sometimes we spend more time thinking about what others say about us than what God says about us. and repeating God's word, you know what? You need to look in the mirror right now and just say, I am his workmanship, and I'm under construction, and he's not finished, right? Our words can help us with our thought patterns, which then turn into our actions. Belief into behavior. Belief into behavior. And that belief comes by the words that we speak over ourselves. All of those negative things that are said, we have to counter that with the positive. You know what? I want you to look in a mirror right now, if you can. You know, maybe when you're done listening to this, look in the car mirror right now, just adjust it a little bit, and look there and say, I am valuable. I am designed by God. I'm a workmanship, okay, of God, and I am created in his image. Yes, I'm okay. I'm okay, right? Words are so important because they shape our thoughts and then our actions. So, worth, and then words, and now wellness. Let me deal with this one because this is controversial. I know this is controversial, but I believe it because I've seen it in my own life, and I've watched this change the setting, the atmosphere. I've watched it change people's mood, their that vibe that they have. It's called wellness. And hear me, I'm not just talking about physical wellness. I'm talking about eating and nutrition and sleep and play. There's such a play deprivation. When is the last time you played? Got a ball, right? Or played with a ball, or played a silly game, or hung out with a child, or you're walking on the sidewalk and you don't step on the cracks, or whatever. When's the last time you played? There's such a play deprivation. Another thing, the physical wellness, the working out and exercise will help us in how we feel about ourselves, won't it? Get on a bike, go for a walk, take the steps instead of the elevator, right? The little things, because you need to work out. You need to work out so that you get exhausted and you can replenish yourself through a workout. Eating correctly and sleeping going to bed at the same time and getting up at the same time, And then the spiritual discipline brings spiritual wellness. Listen, I'm going to say this, and I know it's controversial, but hear me. Are you worshiping on your own? Are you reading the Bible? Are you praying? Yeah, listen, I didn't say that's the only thing. You're going to hear what I'm going to talk about. This is very comprehensive and holistic, what I'm talking about. But you got to hear this one too, because worship changes the atmosphere where you're at. If you're depressed, turn worship on. Let the setting be mandated by the presence of God, not by the problems in your life, right? If you could do something real quick, those of you that can see me can see this. I want you to put your hand right in front of your face. Your hand is your problem. And what happens is, normally what we do when we have a problem, we put it right in front of us, and we can't focus on anything but that problem, right? We can't see anything. I can barely see the lights of the ceiling. I can barely see the camera here. But if I take that problem, which is my hand, and I move it away from my face, now I can see everything because I put my problem into perspective. And how do you do that? I think worship does that. Listen, I'm not trying to minimize your problems. Please don't go there. I'm not trying to minimize your problems. I'm trying to maximize God and his presence in your life, because I really believe that our spiritual disciplines will help us turn the tide of our emotional state that we could be in at any given moment or days in a row, right? Try it. Don't wait to worship on Sunday or Wednesday at youth group. Worship right now. Turn the worship on as soon as you're done with this podcast, and I guarantee you it will help you. Okay? Let me go to the last one. So we've dealt with our worth and our words and our wellness. How about we? Each other. You need somebody else. And let me say something about this really quick as we kind of wind this topic down. It is not failure to be referred. Referral is not failure. And what I mean by that is to go get help. I get help. Many of you know my story, and just a few years ago, 3.5 years ago, my wife passed away, and I had to deal with this incredible loss in my life after being with this person, with Jane, for 34 years. The greatest person I've ever known. And I needed an adjustment. I needed a change. And I have people around me that talk to me every week and every month. And I see a counselor. I've seen a counselor now several times. And this is something that has become a regular practice in my life. It's kind of like an adjustment, right? Referral is not failure. There is a university of help around you. You remember what I said about worth and sometimes how we think we're the only one that's going through something? I want you to know there are other people who have conquered what you're going through, and you need to talk to them. You need to talk to them. So would you please just go to our resources? And I want to give you this resource here real quick. Maybe you pulled up and you're listening to this podcast. If you go to our website at youthology.com, there's a help tab. And we have all kinds of help there. If you are homeless, or you are going through, maybe you've been human trafficked and you don't know what to do, or you're depressed and you're considering suicide, here's the number. We have it on the website, but I want to give it to you right now. I want to give it to you. 800-273-8255. 800-273-8255, because you might need help right now, and that's okay. Hey, if you're on YouTube or you're at youthology.com, you're watching the video, look at me. I love you. I do. Do you see that? I love you. I know what you're thinking, that you don't know what I'm going through. No, I love you because you are created in the image of God and you have something to bring to His kingdom. So talk to other people. We need this university of help around us. There are so many people around us that are here to help, okay? So, hey, thanks for joining us. Hopefully you'll find some stability in some of these things that we said, emotionally, physically, spiritually, relationally, all of these things, with our worth and our words and our wellness and this we that we have around us, this community around us, okay? Thanks for joining us. Hey, you know where to find us too. Find us at youthology.com. The manuscript is there. The blog is there. The iTunes, you can go right directly to iTunes from there, and YouTube too, okay? Thanks for joining us. We'll be out with another Youthology Live topic next week. So thank you for joining us every week. God bless you, and have a great week.